Pues hola a todos, Retumba. Esperamos que estén teniendo un excelente día o cuando sea que estén escuchando esta entrevista. El día de hoy estaremos entrevistando a la banda francesa con una amplia trayectoria en el medio y que el próximo mes lanzarán uno de los discos que a mi parecer será de los más fuertes dentro del género del post-metal. Y estamos hablando de la banda Year of No Light. So, hello, everybody. Good afternoon
Hello.
there in Europe. First of all, it's our very pleasure to have this interview with you. Thank you very much for taking the time to reply some of our questions. But first of all, I was talking with Jérôme about this, but let me begin telling you that what an amazing album you have done this time. I really loved it. And it meant a lot for me. All the music, I must say that especially the bass and the keyboards were awesome for me, a very touching experience. It was so deep, it was so dark, it was amazing. Thank you very much for that.
Well, thanks a lot. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. It's difficult to say anything after that, but yeah, it's very rewarding what you're saying. So it's touching us. So thank you very much. And we are very happy that you're enjoying the forthcoming album. That's cool. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's really touched my heart and my wrist.
Cool. Thank you. Wow, it's I don't know what to answer. It's amazing. Great.
Thank you.
Well, so let's begin. Whoever who wants to take the question. How are you guys? What expectations do you have, or how do you think that the album will be received? This is your fifth album, so what do you think we should expect from Consolamentum?
Well, I hope people enjoy it. I think it's maybe it's a darker album than the other, so maybe noisier and introspective. So, well, I hope people like it. Maybe it's a bit harsher than the other, but we are happy with this album, so we hope people enjoy it.
It's been like years and years since we released an album, so I don't know, it's quite abstract for me, but we put all our heart into this album, and it was also we have to face so much difficulties before releasing and recording this album that we put all our heart into this. So we made it very sincerely. We try to improve ourselves, and you notice it. So that's cool. Thank you for the bass line. But as musician also, and we'll see what happens. It's always amazing that people are still an interest in this band. So we will see. But yes, if it can touch the heart of other people as it did for you, it's amazing.
Okay. So yeah, as you said, there has been 8 long years of waiting, and now amidst a pandemic that is still happening, Year of No Light decided to return with a new album. Was this just like a happy coincidence, or did Consolamentum happen as a result of the last year? I mean, we were all just in our houses, and we couldn't have any contact, like, close contact. So did you wanted to show this in Consolamentum?
It's a pure coincidence. It was recorded like 2 years ago, so it was done before.
Okay.
Yes, no link with COVID and stuff like this. We don't need pandemic to be down. But as Johan said, yes, it has been ready. Just no pandemic or gave another delay. So but we were already late. So that. But for the conception, the recording and inspiration, no connection with pandemic.
Okay. That came then after the pandemic, right? Before the pandemic. Oh, okay.
Yes, I think we recorded the album like 2 years ago, and the album as planned to be out like in 21, but because of the COVID, it was postponed.
Okay.
So
Hmm.
postponed,
C'est exactement ça. Yes, and it's a big mess in the music industry and stuff like this. So we have to be cautious, patient. Sorry, but yes, as Johan and Jérôme said, it was already in the box 2 years ago.
Okay, perfect. Well, you have been playing for almost 20 years as a band. So uh, for you guys, the identity of Year of No Like, what would you say that is the thing about making this kind of music that is still exciting, uh, or that you enjoy the most when you're writing, or what do you think about your music? How has it evolved during these years?
I think at first when we start to play together, it was to play very sonic and loud and heavy music.
Okay.
It was almost that. And in fact, when we start, there was all this huge scene who appear. At first, we like band like Neurosis or Unsane, and all the shoegaze scene and some stuff of The Cure and.
Mhm.
But Black Sabbath, but not there was not this post metal scene. And at first, it was that making music that was dealing with trance, wall of sound, some kind of a music where you can be lost into something like that.
Yes, we don't think in terms of genre, but we are okay with post metal. But as Jérôme said, when we began, it was just to make some transcendental some noise, fun noise in the good way, to build sonic cathedral and to get lost in the sound, and we got still this kind of feeling with the band, but we don't think in terms of how should we evolve and stuff like this. It's I guess it's a kind of praxis. So what we are living in our today life, we try to sublimate it through music. It's a need to elevate ourselves and to escape from the day-to-day and peculiar and secular activities. And so, yes, I guess that's the point. But, I guess I speak for me, but not only for me. I guess it's the same for Jérôme and other musicians in the band. A few years ago, we were about to quit because we were tired, we were awful, we had a lot of trouble. And as far as I was, we were wondering, shall we go on? Because perhaps we can think that there are too many music outside, and what's the need to put noise on noise? But finally, we started again from scratch. And I think now it's a new cycle, I guess. You are already working on the next album and you won't have to wait, I guess, I hope so, 8 years before hearing it. And concerning the 20 years, yes, I'm not really into celebration, just, but Year of Night also was, and it's just fact, was not the main project at the beginning. And that, I guess that's what gave, retrospectively, sorry, it gave a lot of strength to this band. It was like a band in his corner. We were really into this band, but everybody more or less were involved in other biggest projects. And finally, the only still living project is Year of the Light. So it's becoming a praxis and it's part of our life, I guess. So we don't plan anything or celebrate anything. It's just like we need sublimation. And it's very important, I guess, especially today. And for us, I guess, the sublimation is through electricity, through music, and to find some transcendence. That's the point, I guess.
Okay, I see. I would like to take one thing that you said, that you felt that there was like plenty of music around the world at some point. So is that maybe one of the reasons that the band always take like their time when you're releasing a new album, or?
No, not necessarily. I guess we tour a lot, perhaps a bit too much, and so also we have to face, you lose your job and stuff like this, and trouble and some real life shit, and sometimes it's enough to delay a lot of things. We have also to face some difficulty with our rehearsal place and all these material issues were also delaying us.
Yes.
But we are also a bit tired. But yes, that's a question I always ask. What's the point? If you make music for making music, I'm speaking only for me, I don't give a shit. Touring for touring, I don't give a shit. Collectioning CD or LP, I really don't give a shit. I do that not for money, I don't care. I do that because I need that to stay alive. It sounds cliche, but I assume it more than 100%. And that's the point. So we'll see for the future. But right now we are quite confident with the future. And this album is not a rebirth because we weren't dead or we are already dead, and that's cool. But but it's a new cycle really, and we are very excited to work on new projects and stuff like this.
Okay, I see. So yeah, talking about this new cycle and considering your absence for this time, how do you find the scene of music nowadays, especially in the landscape of instrumental post genre, like the post rock, post metal? Is it this, how can I say? Is it stagnating, or do you think it's innovating, or it's just repeating itself?
I think there is there's a lot of band who repeats all the same musical form, but there is a lot of innovation. I think maybe the band I prefer in this kind of music, like instrumental music, really sonic music, are maybe the more experimental, like using different instruments, different form, maybe some form from contemporary music or black psychedelic music. I think of some label like comment il s'appelle le label des mecs de Monarch? C'est
Profound Law.
Ouais, Profound Law.
Profound Law. Okay.
This kind of label. I don't know. In fact, I don't listen that much post metal stuff.
Okay.
Fact. But there is always great band who experiment and have a really deep talk about darkness. I listen a lot of death metal in this like Death Doom, like Crypts from Finland, this kind of stuff too. Don't know, but in fact I don't listen that much post metal stuff.
But usually when you speak about a scene or a genre, it's not a good sign because it means bands start to copy each other and trying to make the same kind of music. And I think today there is so many great things to hear. For example, there is a crazy experimental scene in Africa, in Angola particularly. One of the best EVS band I have heard in quite some months is called Duma. It's a duo, and it's crazy.
Okay.
And it's very funny because they start to make music without having all the codes from existing genres. So there is really cool stuff to discover, but when you go outside of the existing scenes.
Yes, but I guess I agree totally with Jérôme and Johan, and we are listening for a lot of stuff, from contemporary music to punk rock to classical music or soundtrack and stuff like this. But I'm really surprised. I'm still hooked, I don't know, with the first wave of post-rock. I don't know if it exists, but the first Tortoise, and the scene of Chicago are still a big influence for me. And I'm quite surprised And it's the same for our genre, if I may use this expression. But
Yeah.
I'm quite surprised that it's not getting bigger, but it's still there in the long time, and it evolves, and that's very interesting. And I guess one of my favorite bands, you know, it's Godspeed You Black Emperor. They're still there also, and I do listen to still some classic post-rock, but there are a lot of great music to discover. So that's true. And Jérôme was speaking about Finland, and it's true that I guess a big part of our favorite bands are from this little country. It's crazy, but that's true. And for me, my last discovery is also a Finnish band called Polymoon. It's great. It's progressive music, instrumental, and it's very, 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 very exciting. But you know, yes, we're not very we are not big experts in what's happening right now in the post-metal scene.
Okay. I would like to connect that ideas with the following question, which is, what do you care more about music when you are developing an album? You know, like the success on the year, the big release in the year, or that your music stand the test of time. You know, if if I listen the album like 3-4 years from now, it will be still awesome. It will be still deeper. You know, what do you think about this?
Well, the big success, I guess, the deal is done. But yes, you're right. We try to. It's a big question, but yes, if our records are still update, if are still facing the times. Sorry, I'm losing my word. The fight of time. You know, it's great. Even if we don't, I don't hear regularly what we do, but yes, we are still surprised, I guess, that somehow even the first album, our sound is still not actual, but it's not so up to date. Yeah, it's not so. I'm sorry, my brain is fucked. But yes, I mean, the second option is what we are looking for. We don't accept. We are looking for nothing. But yes, if it happens, that's great. If we make records, it's not to sound pretentious, but it's a big reward also that a few years later, the LP, the album is still accurate.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess that's our main. Not objective, but that's the reward. If we are looking for a reward, we could look for. Yes.
Okay. Well, so as we know, many bands evolve with every new recording. But how do you consider this album, Consolamentum, shows up the year of no like evolution through time, since Nord to these days now? And how has the group evolved to become what it is right now?
Jérôme, tu veux ou...
Ouais, pourquoi pas, je peux commencer.
Ouais.
I think in 20 years, we keep some musical form. I think about, you know, the riff melody stuff. But we use a lot of different elements by the years, like using drones or synthesizer, acoustic music, and I think it and maybe a lot of different influence like hard rock, shoegaze, and the psychedelic music, this kind of stuff. So in every record, we try to have experimentation and pushing our limits, but we got some marker, like maybe some way to compose, some different method to compose. Okay. And we try to make something with some solid way of making song and experimentation, and we try to deal with this both the both way to make music. So we can challenge ourselves, but we can have pleasure to just make a big riffs like heavy metal, and I think I like this way to compose something classic and something experimental, and the equilibrium is not easy, but it's the way maybe we challenge ourselves.
Yes, but when we compose, we are so it's easy to. I mean, one of the things are done. It's okay to intellectualize it, but when we play music, of course, we try to reach new shores and explore new territory. But also, it's a kind of practice. We are really like in the doing. We don't have necessarily the distance, to analyze what we are doing. But what was sure for Consolamentum, and it was very important for us, just to arrive very ready for the recording and try to focus on our instrument and try to play as much live as possible and to have this kind of warm organic sound. And that was for us the big challenge. We were lucky also to work with Cyril Gachet, the recording, the sound guy we are working with for all of our, sorry for the pronunciation, albums. And it was, yes, it was a big challenge to do something clean and warm, even if we make some dark music, but we wanted to have this organic fluidity, something that
Okay.
to find a new way of playing. And I guess for this, that we did it. I guess we reached what we wanted to do.
Okay, so considering that, do everybody take part while you're writing or composing the music, or just the three of you?
It's evolved. We have a lot of different methods right now. At the very beginning, usually yes, it started from a riff or jam, and Jérôme and I we try to arrange it, and nowadays, because of a lot of practical reason also, we got sometimes you have got tracks that already made because Jérôme made the demo, and we just have just to listen to it, appropriate ourselves to the track and play it. Sometimes it's maybe it may start like from a jam, or sometimes in between, but we got a lot of different method because we don't live necessarily in the same city. It's become more and more difficult to find a rehearsal place, and now we are working like this. And even like right now we are working on the next album. There is a song who came like from a jam directly, like clang clang clang, and some other that Jérôme say, okay, I got this, listen to this. We're like, okay, that's great. And sometimes I'm trying to make creepy demo.
Okay.
And Jérôme helps me to do it more or less properly. But we got, yes, a lot of different. And for this album also, our drummer arrived with a morceau, the last one. And everybody, yes, is more or less involved. But once again, even if it's like a jam or a demo or stuff like this, it's like I like to say that it's like Jérôme, like it's kind of his own entity, and it takes its time to eat and to regurgitate the composition, and then. Once the band above us has approved what we are doing, because it's okay, the song is over, it's finished, so let's go to the recording session.
So we have a lot of difficulty to finish song these 8 years. I think we got 2 track. We just put it on trash.
Okay.
And maybe it's one of the reasons we make all this time to make a new album. So if a song don't satisfy us, we play it, and if it don't work, we just we put it on trash.
Okay. Well, taking that, I'd like to talk about your last single. I hope I will pronunciate it right. It's Alethea. That's my favorite song of all the album, and I'm quite sad that it's the one who lasts the few, you know. But I like it because it's like a mysterious innuendo with a large amplitude of expression. Sometimes it feels like it's insinuating, but then it's gaining momentum, you know. Uh, there are also some exotic, if I say it in that way, exotic motives. Uh, the sound, however, it's like simpler, but overall, it's an overall of pleasant sensations. So, what could you tell us about the mindset of that song in particular?
Wow. So yes, it's called. I don't know. It came from classical Greek. It's called. So I don't know. In French, you would pronounce it aletheia, but I don't know if you can anglicize it. I don't know, but it's yes, it's a reference to Greek classical Greek philosophy. But yes, this when I it's really, the story of this song is funny because I was really sad and melancholic. I just sat down in my garden and I find that the first thing came right over. I guess it's a song about, I don't know, about loss. Yes, about melancholy of what used to be, and we will never have it again. And yes, and some I put also some personal stuff in it, but for the evolution and stuff, yes, and it's a very good example on how Year of No Light may work. You know, I arrive with this idea, with this riff, na 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 na. Okay, I mean, I'm not making joke about the riff, and then yes, we had, and with Jérôme and everybody, we found how to make it evolve, and this momentum and this final, like very 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 intense, and that's a very good. In the end, it's always a collective game here of No Light, more or less. But yes, we wanted to sound also to have this feeling post-punk thing, a bit 80s that you may find in bands that we really love, like Joy Division and so on. And we also had these Cure vibes because we were when when the first demo was out, some people said that it was the Cure playing some sludge, and and we got this. We are huge fan of the Cure, I guess, even if the band is not about the Cure. But if we can have this kind of vibes and yes, I guess it suits us quite well. So.
And this song is also a good example of why we took 8 years to make this song, because it was one of the first that was ready after Top Song. It was one of the first we started to work on it. I think it took nearly 3 years to finish the structure of the song. We tried a lot of things, particularly on the end of the song. We even tried to play it live differently at the beginning. And it was only finished 3 years ago, before the first time we were thinking about recording.
Yes, and that's funny because sometimes it's like we are digging the sound to find some motifs that's already existing outside our world. They are there, but our job is just to dig and try to find the good solution. No, I guess that's the case. And sometimes, as Jérôme and Johan say, we are to end the song. Sometimes it's time to just, because it's a matter of narration. It's all in details, indeed, in micro details, and that's what makes the difference. And so you have to practice to make some back and forth and to stop and go back to the song, see it's still okay, and finally we usually are able to end the song. And but as Johan say, yes, it's a typical example of
yes. At the same time, we were also working on another song that took us 5 years to finally trash it right before going to the studio, because
Also, yes, but it's not. We also face some. No, it's not not easy to rehearse and so on. That I don't want to give the idea to the listener that we are a big mongoloid that take 8 years to make a song. That's not the case. We take our time to do songs, but we are able to produce a song in an afternoon. It's not a problem. But to find the final shape, yes, and all the structures, dynamics, and to appropriate the song, yes, it took time. It always was the case for Year of No Light. It's like wine, you know, you have to wait a bit before before drinking it, and not disgusting, but before being delighted by the liquid. But yes, we take time, and that's cool.
Okay, that answers completely my questions. So thank you very much for that. And talking about references, I did a research, and I found out that the word consolamentum relates to some kind of sacrament, like a baptism or an ancient ritual. So why did you decide to name the album like this? Is there any connection with that, or you name it just for an entirely different reason?
I guess it's inspired by an heresy, the Qatar heresy, which was, I don't know if you know, in Europe, it was people that wanted to be very pure believer, and the church didn't support it and burned them. But it's what we like about the idea of consolamentum. It's like a reverse baptism. It's a baptism when you're dying, you know, and that's what, that's what we choose the name, not for the mythical or revival of Qatar heresy. We don't. I guess it's not the point, but it's just the idea of, yes, to get baptism of the dying. I really like the idea of before dying you get baptized. It's a reverse baptism, and they were also not in white but dressed in black. And also it was a matter of purity, because for the Qatar you couldn't reach the sky if you're not pure, and to get pure you have to get baptism when you're dying. But there are more profound signification. But once again, we are not in a medieval trip about about Qatar, but it's just like we love the idea of, yes, and I guess it fits the word well, of the baptism of the dying. Yes, that was the point.
Okay, that sounds good. And well, guys, as I have said, I really enjoy the way this album behaves and the kind of conduction, as you said before, Pierre. It's like a narration from song to song, right? It's very well constructed. How did you set the tone for this record? You just let it go with it, or it was like a measured process when you were structuring the album?
It's a good question. I think we got this 5-track, but in fact we always we are really we always try to have a narration on our album since the first album. It's really important to us. And if the tracks doesn't create a natural narration, we use drone articulation between songs. But for this album, it was really fluid. So the end of one track could introduce the other. So the narration for this one was really fluid. But we are really, it's really important to us to have this odyssey. It's an odyssey always. Even when we got a singer, in fact, it was really important to us to you know, you can listen all the tracks individually, but you can just enter the album and just, you know, getting immersive and got your own travel, your own journey, and the journey end with the end of the album. And there is always introduction, conclusion, and it's kind of a wall tracks in a certain way. It's a big form, in fact.
Yes, but what was funny for this album, because for the previous album, you know, to find the track listing, it was quite easy. For this one, we were like, every combination was working, you know, and in the same time, it's the same narration, but it's like the galaxy with some planets, you know, and you change the order of the orbit of the planets. But we had yes, it was not difficult, but it was the first time we think a lot. What song should we put first? And because before the release, I guess every combination was working, and I guess that's why the LP will be very interesting to use as an experience, because you will change your face, the faces, and stuff like this. But yes, the narration is very important. But it was the first time we had not difficulty, but it takes us more time as usual to find not the correct, but to find the track listing, and especially because you can enter this album with any songs, you know, and even if you do that, you will find the global vision also of the album. It happens, I guess.
Yeah, it really works like an entity of itself, right? Jérôme said something that I am curious. I investigated about that too, but how did you decide to become a pure instrumental band? I mean, is that any particular reason for that?
We lost our singer, and we were like, and even when we got I'm sorry, trois quatre. Even when we were a 5-piece, the singer was important, but it was not the lead instrument, and we decided to become a 6-piece. And finally, when you're working, you know, with 3 guitars and stuff like this, you don't need a singer. Really, musically speaking, and we really didn't feel the need of a singer. Of course, it could be fun to have a crazy frontman sometimes, but really, we are very at ease. The melody does the job, and so I guess you got 6 singers if you want in the band, but so it was like this, and we decided to. We always loved the idea of collective at the beginning of Year of Knowledge, to invite people and a big orchestral and stuff like this. So it was the occasion. And so, yes, even if it's sometimes a bit a circus with 6 people and 2 drums and a lot of stuff, we choose it, and we are quite, I guess, none of us would like to come back and have a singer, I guess. But we'll see what the future will offer. But the classical frontman, no, but it will be, yes, no. But we'll see. Some chorus, oh, why not? It will be great.
Yeah, maybe a feature with some vocalist, right?
Oh, it may happen. Yes, we'll see. Yes, like this. I guess it's yes, and also, but the song is not on the album. But we try to put some vocals with some friend of us on a song. But finally, we dropped it. But you know, when you play instrumental, you got three guitars, synthesizer, Moog, drums, and stuff like this. You got all these voices. You really don't need a singer. And generally, also, it's fucking hard to deal with frontman. So that's cool that we get rid of this kind of musician. I'm joking.
Okay.
But, half joking.
Okay, but I hope that feature could work for maybe a next album. That would be nice to hear. We're reaching the end of the interview, but I have 3 more questions. What about doing shows in Mexico or maybe countries in South America? I was talking with Jérôme too about this. What do you think?
Yes.
We would love to.
Yes, it could be amazing.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you've got some good contacts from promoters in Mexico that could be interested, just send us, and we will try to make it happen. We would love to.
And also, we were surprised to see that people are following us in Mexico, and that's what yes, crazy. Yeah. And I've never been there, and it will be so great to because we love also when we're touring. It's cool to discover a new country, to meet real people, and not the same European circus. And it will be for us. It will be great to play to play for you. Yes, in your country or in South America more broadly.
Let's that make happen. Leave it to us.
Yes. And we got some feedback. You know, we were speaking with Nej from Alsace. He explained us all the intensity of the audience in South America. And I was watching again, you know, the classical documentary of Flight 666 from Maiden. And when he's at Montreal in Mexico, like, wow, they can sing, you know. So yes, and that's I would like the countries I would love to discover. And yes, that's our main objective. Yes, we want to play in Mexico and South America. Let's make it.
I actually saw Alsace 2 years ago when Nage came, so it was a true experience, and I guess you will enjoy it the same as Nage did it.
Yes, they were like overwhelmed by the intensity of the audience, the kindness of the people, the sincerity also. Because sometimes in our country, people are, I don't know the word in English, but you know, when you are fed up, you know, you're another band I saw, okay, Neurosis, I saw them 10 times, you know, and so that's cool to discover, yes, new scene and new countries, yes, and especially yours.
Okay, so we are waiting for you.
Yes, okay. We are coming.
So this is our kind of signature question. It is a tradition within the blog in order to know a band beyond their musical perspectives. So the question is, if you could relate or assimilate the aesthetics of Europe No Like, the concept, the mood, or the motive with any other kind of art, such as a book or a movie or a painting, or maybe even other kind of art, what would that be and why?
Well, for me, for the book, maybe it's William Burroughs, the three last book of William Burroughs, the last trilogy. For the movie, David Lynch. And for arts, well, don't know. Maybe, well, maybe some installation, you know, arts, like, don't know. Oh yeah, the guy who made the Cremaster series, it's the, don't remember his name. Matthew Barney.
Okay.
And your question is very interesting because literature, cinema, art are big inspiration for us. Okay. For me, it's difficult, but for me, concerning the books, I say the French writer of the end of the 19th century, like Léon Blois, of course Baudelaire, and also for Consolamentum, the Antoine Volodine, also who is a wonderful writer, who launched a kind of post-exotic literature. And in painting, I don't know, sometimes sometimes it looks like a big painting of Turner, you know. And yes, and for cinema, I don't know, Tarkovsky or Bresson or stuff like this, with some action or movie also. But, I'll say that, yes. But for me, literature, yes. Léon Blois, very, very, very important. Some kind of reactionary thinker also of the 18th century, like Joseph de Maistre, and big pessimistic people, and a bit decadent also. That's cool. You know, Léon Blois was kind of people who were despising Christ and the church, you know, and they were really into Luciferian stuff. And sometimes they went in a church, and sometimes, paf, big lightning, they become Christian, but not not single, very, not classical one, very still a bit Luciferian, a little bit sulfuric, so with a bit of a need of absolute, you know, and there are people who are, you can deal with them, you take it or leave it, you know, and they have this kind of life with them, very poor, but their writing out, there's such an energy, such a positive, such an anger and such a need to, they are, and that's for me the most beautiful French sentence ever written with Léon Bois, like this. But it's just a personal taste.
Okay, that's good to hear. Johan, do you have anything?
Maybe yes, about a book. I would say Blood Meridian from something epic by Cormac McCarthy. About movie. I think I would say like Jérôme, David Lynch, because it's something where you can lost yourself very easily, and you have multiple ways of reading it and understanding it.
Okay.
And about paintings, there are so many things. I don't know. The example of Pierre with Turner is something I was thinking of also, but as there is a lot of things that could work. Some a painting where you can lose yourself into it.
Yes, that's true. McCarthy, yes, that's a big influence. Burroughs, as Jérôme said, also really, and all this kind of end of 19th French century. The decadent, it's called decadent, littérature décadente, and yes, and Cronenberg also, the very early one. I guess we will all agree on this. Yes.
Okay, so well, sadly, our final question. We talked about this a little bit in the between of the interview, but we would like to give some song examples to the fans about well that you hear and that you enjoy the most. So which would it be the last song that you have heard that amazed you or surprised you in any kind of way? I mean, it could be any genre, any kind of band. What do you think about this?
Let me, I've got the artist, but the name is impronounceable. I have to make a search. So Jérôme, Johan, allez-y.
Well, the last record I really enjoyed was this one from Nissa Music. It was an old French band from the 80s. The record was lost during a flood, and it became very rare records to find, and a guy has a good idea to repress it this year. And it's a kind of contemporary music between jazz, contemporary music, Midori Tadaka, Don Cherry, and it's really unique. And it's really great that it could have been repressed and people can hear it instead of a YouTube video.
Yeah, totally.
I discovered an Italian composer like 5 days ago called Luigi Nono. It's an Italian, and I was overwhelmed by his piece called, I'm sorry, I don't speak Italian very well, but it's called La lontananza nostalgica utopia futura. It's a piece of 40 minutes of contemporary music, and it's, wow, it's really removed me, but it was a surprise also. I just find it like this, and I was like, wow, and that's yes, that's my big musical moment right now.
Okay.
Luigi Nono, N-O-N-O, yes.
And I think for me, it's like two really different work. I think the song Michael from Beachy Head, the new band of the slow dive guitarists with people from the Flaming Lips, and Hyperion from Georg Frederikas. It's some kind of really orchestral tour de force and really powerful and dark piece of music. So yes.
And I would add also a Finnish band called Polymoon. I already spoke about it, but yes, that they are great. Psychedelic music and with a level of musicianship over the top, and always with this Finnish touch. So cool, not pretentious, but exploring, but masterizing every piece of the music. And I was like, wow, yes, this and Luigi Nono are my what really removed me and touched me very, very much right now.
Okay, that's a good. Sorry, were you saying something?
Non, Johan, tu sais quoi? Ah oui, non, t'as répondu toi déjà, oui.
Ouais.
Ouais, non, je suis. Sorry, no, I'm dead. Sorry, it's my fault. No, and I think everybody was freezing, but it's okay. We're still alive.
No, but it's good. I think that's a good way to finish the interview, because here in the blog we enjoy psychedelic music, so it's a good recommendation for us.
Okay.
So, well, guys, it's sad to say goodbye, but thank you very, very much for your time. Thank you for this chit chat about all of your ideas, all of the Consolamentum album. It was my pleasure. I really, really hope to see you in here in Mexico. That would be great. Or maybe I will go to Europe to see you play live. and yeah, that's for me. Thank you very, very much.
And thank you for your support. Thank you for your very interesting question also, and it was also a pleasure, and it's very rewarding speaking with people like you. No joke, and that's cool. And it makes sense. Sometimes it's cool to suffer, but we don't care, because sometimes, yes, we can have very real conversation. And thank you very much. It's us. We do thank you. Okay, and take care. Yes.
Muchas gracias.
Yeah, sorry, my Spanish is worse than my English. So, and take care of you also within this difficult period. Also, it's important. And let's keep in touch. And as you say, write to Johan, and we're gonna come in Mexico.
Give me a call. I will take you to eat tacos. That's the most cliche in the world, but
we already got mezcal.
Yeah, we will try mezcal, pulque, of course tequila. Why not?
Wow! All right.
And we will visit whatever you want to visit.
Okay. Perfect. Okay, thank you.
I will be your tour guide.
Oh, right. Cool. Amazing.
Yes, perfect. Deal done. It's okay.
That's it. Well, once again, guys, thank you very much for your time.
Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Au revoir.
Bye.
See you soon.
Next time.
Take care. Thanks.